Hey there, everyone. That sexy nerd is back again, and we're watching the rest of Akain, everyone, and not just we're doing 2 episodes in one video. Now, I really don't have much to say. We all know what happened in season 3. I just want to hear his take on it. So, want to just wrap it up and we just go right into the episode? Please smash that like button if you want to see more sexy and nerdy content, and subscribe if you think I deserve it. And remember, sign up for my Patreon for all my latest reactions to all my latest videos. And let's do this thing now.
Episode of Invincible Season 3 dropped, and so the 4th episode of Invincible Season 3 dropped, and I want to talk about it, bro. I was going to cover like 2 to 3 episodes at a time, but episode 4 has the future storyline and the prison break. This is one of my favorite parts in the book. I've been waiting a whole year to talk about this stuff. Like, there's so much that's going to happen this season, and I'm having a great time. The prison break part even drops the lore on the Viltrumite situation. It also kicks off the iconic duo that is Omni-Man and Alan the Cyclops. But before we can deal with that, we gotta deal with Mark. I love Mark. But early Mark is not it. Peak Mark, my Mark, isn't coming until the Invincible Wars. Don't look that up. We're only a few weeks away, and I can't wait. This season has been really good so far. Like, every episode is hitting. There's no breaks, no Amber. The side characters are really interesting. Mark is slightly less of a pushover. Oliver is annoying, but I'd be lying if I said he wasn't entertaining. If they mess up the final episode of this season, brother, I need the full conquest fight. I'm just getting like the sneaking suspicion that they're gonna pull something.
I know, I had the same suspicion.
Like, see you in 2020.
I thought the same time.
My advice for the rest of the season, if you haven't read the books, is this right here. Episode 5, the next one, proceed as usual. Episode 6, 7, and 8, by my calculations, should have one very big moment happen in each of them. Episode 6 is iffy, but 7 and 8 for sure. Proceed with extreme caution. I'm saying put the phone down, stay off the internet. If you are able to stay up late at night and watch the episodes exactly when they come out, do that. Nobody's gonna be able to hold it down. Since the spoilers everywhere. Not small ones either, big ones. But that's enough yap. Let's start with the first half.
Such a great season. Amazing season.
So Rex and Shrink Ray are shopping for groceries. It's pretty obvious.
Nice. I just found a freelance accountant on Fiverr.
And so, the company's finances were finally in order.
Woo!
It's pretty awkward. The vibe isn't right. Ray is really set on making dinner for everybody. Apparently, the Guardians of the Globe job came with food, butlers, their new team, none of that. So talk about riches to rags. Rex is also casually admitting to identity theft, and we never really unpack that. There's a lot going on, and nobody's questioning anything. Maybe in the next episode, they'll explain what's going on with Ray, but I don't know what's happening, bro. She's dead in the books by this point. The segment ends with them being called to duty, and this sad shot of their grocery list and food on the ground. They can just come back. It's not that deep. It's 1 p.m., bro. They have all day to shop. At the Team base, they haven't chosen the new name yet. I don't know what to call them. Mark is having Robot investigate this floating eyeball thing that was spying on him and his family. And that brother is very frustrated because Robot is not giving it his full attention. Robot has a hive mind connection to his androids. Let him cook. Let him do what needs to be done. However, Robot cannot confirm who this belongs to, which is a major problem because if Robot don't know, nobody knows. It's Angstrom. We saw the credits, come on. They don't know that though. So Mark assumes it was Cecil. So you know what Mark does. This maniac blasts into the Pentagon and starts slaughtering any and all reanimate he can get his hands on. He does slightly better in a few fights and starts rushing the Pentagon on a hunch that they wronged him. What is he doing? Cecil might have been right. Or maybe Cecil broke him. I don't know. Do you know how scared everybody in there had to be? They probably thought that he finally joined the Viltrumites. I would be in the bathroom thinking it's over. It's done. They had to activate the JBL speakers in the walls to stop him. Long story short, Cecil didn't do it, and I don't need to read the books to know that. Cecil had them under surveillance for the whole run of season 1. He can teleport. He can turn things invisible. Cecil has access to so many resources. Why would he use an iBot? But before they can continue, Mark gets a call. Takes a look at it, says, Cecil, better watch yourself. You never know who the man in the sky is these days. He leaves, and Cecil is thanking God that wasn't the real deal. So Mark is flying, and he is in a hurry. Turns out he's having another date with Eve, a real one, not a therapy session. I am so glad that they are finally together because the way this show has handled Mark's relationships has been painful. I don't know why they made Amber so annoying. She wasn't perfect in the comics, but damn. You know, it pains me to think that the writers were in there cooking up season 1 Amber and laughing and smiling, hugging, going, yeah, They're gonna love this. And then they dragged the breakup for the entire run of season 2. The whole time you're watching season 2, you're just like, you know they're gonna break up.
Yeah.
You know it. They could have just had him be single. He has a billion other things going on anyway. He's a superhero. He's got aliens coming from outer space to kill him and everybody on the planet.
But you wouldn't have had to waste some time in the episode. What? You'd have to put in some love stuff anyway.
His father turned out to be really evil. Cecil is kind of sketchy. Like, come on. Was Amber necessary? Was all of this worth it?
Yeah.
Hopefully, Mark and Eve's relationship goes how it did in the comics. By that, I mean written well. I am tired of hearing him complain about his girl drama when we are all about to die. So 4 seconds into the date, Eve says, and Mark is like, there's a female Viltrumite behind me, isn't there?
No, but
She hates dates. And then she points at the glowing green portal behind them. Those 2 guys who took the Declaration of Independence are here. Told you they'd be back. Now they're begging Mark to come with them to help dethrone their tyrannical oppressor. This portal is going to take them to the future where everything went wrong. Hell nah. Mark doesn't want to go, tells them to kick rocks. This is a crazy switch up from last season. A space cricket comes to Earth dressed as a magical dog and tells him, hey yo, my planet that's 2 weeks away is in danger, we need you. He says, yes, I'm ready. 2 guys from the future who can hop back and forth from the present to the future instantly. No, I know things have changed, but they haven't changed that much. Come on. Even Eve is surprised. She's like, you sure? Like, you usually want to do stuff like that. Yeah, they are so desperate for help that they kidnapped him. Mark then, he starts choking them. That seems to be his signature move now. I'm gonna go ahead and dust off the old choke counter. Cecil, these guys, that's 4. He's really morphing before our very eyes. But they tell him, hey, you're already here, you might as well help. Their names are Dropkick and Fightmaster. Terrible names. But I'm assuming that's the kind of name you get in a timeline like this. Who did this? Zamasu? Basically, Earth was on the brink of collapse a long time ago, but then some guy got made
Zamasu.
and for a while, things got better. It was lit, but then one day he snapped, and nobody knows why. That brother went from normal to waging war with the entire planet, and the planet lost. Like, it was a wash. People live in horrible conditions, no food, no water, no AC, toilets, power. If you get caught outside after curfew, you're getting sent to the executioner. Ask me how long the curfew
Why Ghost Rider?
It's 24/7. Come outside if you want to, you're done. And remember the Declaration of Independence? Well, the king doesn't age, and he is ridiculously strong, so bro is going nowhere anytime soon. And they heard tales, and I'm serious. They heard that the ink from the Declaration of Independence could be used to create a poison that could end the king. How does that even work?
I don't know.
How? It didn't work. Of course it didn't work. We're gonna keep moving. Actually, real quick, let me throw an idea at you. This is just an idea. Kate, say she was on an island and starving. Zero hope of getting off the island. Matter of fact, no. There's a boat that visits the island every 6 months. She had 4 months of food and she ran out. She needs sustenance just for 2 months. I think you see where I'm going with this. Can Kate eat her clones? If the situation called for it, if it all came down to one moment, let me know. So after Mark hears this lore bomb, he's like, damn, your king is super duper strong.
Awful.
He's been around for hundreds of years. Is he a Viltrumite? Because I can't beat them. They have no idea what that is. So I guess that means we won in the end. So Mark agrees to help. What is the next step of the operation, you ask me? Well, we're gonna need 5 stars.
Evelyn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hunt the hare and turn it down the rocky road.
Cool. Now all we gotta do is get arrested. But then Mark goes, watch this sick combo I've been labbing. Mark knocks off the first robot's head, grabs the... then yeets that thing at another, turns around with the, is that all? I want more. They look at him and they say, brother, we need them to take us to the king. The problem isn't getting to the king. The problem is that he's...
Invincible.
So they get taken by the bots. Arrive at this very, very evil looking tower, get inside, and whoa, hey, they're taking Dropkick and Fightmaster. What are we gonna do without Dropkick and Fightmaster? They say it's cool though, these robots are fodder, we'll break out. Mark is like, okay, fine. He gets in the main room and turns out the king is the immortal. He says, Mark, is that really you? They start talking, and this is so crazy. He's dropping so many references to stuff that's gonna happen in the future, but out of context, it doesn't really make sense. Like, it doesn't, line up. Immortal has gone mad. It really goes to show how much living forever would suck. He has outlived everybody he has ever known hundreds of times. He can't take it anymore. He's not a Viltrumite. He doesn't know any aliens with really long lifespans. He is damned to be alone forever. He says that he threw the entire planet into chaos, hoping that Mark would hear about it and come back to Earth to end him. The Mark of the future left the planet and put Immortal in charge, so he's been here waiting. I hate Immortal so much.
Okay, first of all, you know, honestly, if the Immortal hooked up with a Viltrumite, it would be a better match than Kate. I mean, I don't know if her powers actually grant her slight immortality. I know she can't necessarily technically be killed because of the clones, but can she live forever? Probably not. But yeah, I mean, she's gonna die, and obviously because he fucking forgot about her. So if he hooked up with a Viltrumite, he'd at least be able to stay with her for a really long time, you know? Really, really long time. I mean, I don't even know if Viltrumites even have lifespans. Like, Lord Argyle was, like, so damn old when he was killed. So there's a lot about the Viltrumites we still don't know.
That talk about the right thing and duty, yet here he is destroying the planet because he can't die, because of his personal problems. Mark even says at one point that he could have just thrown himself into the sun and be reduced to atoms. Why didn't he do that, you ask? He didn't want to. So instead he was like, oh, I'll just like slaughter a bunch of innocent people for like
it makes no sense as to why he would do that.
The Mark didn't show up. This Mark is from the past. He is here on chance. We're switching Immortal's name to Immoral. I stole that from a comment. I'm not ashamed of it, bro. It makes too much sense. Immoral. But then Mark wants to add to my turmoil. Mark says, no, I could never end your life. Brother, if you don't help this man and free these people, you won't kill him, but you'll leave him to this horrible existence that he's begging to be released from. So Immortal goes crazy and starts piecing up Mark a little bit. He's throwing bro around the room into a pillar, grabs the rubble and throws that thing down. Mark dodges swiftly. Mark says,
try not to kill people,
I can help you. We don't have to fight. I genuinely want to know what his solution to this is. But Immortal is crazy. He's not hearing any of that. He launches back at Mark with combos, grabs him by the head, says, bro, please release me. By this time, the twins have gotten free and came into the room. So Immortal says, look, Mark, I've gone crazy. I've gone mad. And goes for them. Gets one and starts choking him. What is this close-up? He thinks he's home now.
I know, right?
So Mark tackles him before bro runs out of air, gets him on the wall, and starts pleading for Immortal to please stop this. And now he's spitting nonsense. I don't care. Immortal then drags Mark along the wall and throws him to the floor. And he is still beating Mark. I don't think he's feeling any of that though. Like they're not on the same.
I know, right?
So Mark finally like, and just like that, everything is fine. Like they can go back to normal now. So the twins take Mark back to his date, and Mark proceeds to make my brain melt. Immortal is dead and finally at peace. The people he tormented for centuries are finally free to rebuild civilization. And now Mark is on a date with a baddie. He literally
I know, right? Like, stop bitching.
Situation, and he is bummed out because he had to kill.
But whatever.
So Mark
he is allowed to bitch with all the stuff he's gone through.
Music playing. I skipped that. Now we're in deep space with Alan the alien and Nolan the Omni-Man. In the last season, Omni-Man got violated and captured. Alan came to Earth looking for Mark and Nolan to join the coalition, and yada yada yada. So Alan has been trying to convince Omni-Man to join the coalition of Viltrumite haters. With his new powers and Omni-Man's traitor strength, they'd be unstoppable. He's not going for it right now. But here's the real problem. Omni-Man is dead set on being executed for betraying the Viltrumites, being a terrible husband, and leaving his sons. Bro is fighting demons, and there are Viltrumites on their way here to deliver his end today. Alan is also up for redaction, but he is so strong after that Zenkai boost that nothing is working on him. And we're about to see a showcase of that because the Viltrumites are here. Alan is totally capable of leaving, and Omni-Man is telling him, hey, get out of here. They don't care about you like that. But Alan is like, nah. So when the Viltrumites take Omni-Man away, he breaks out of his cell, and now we're on a timer because those Viltrumites are doing Omni-Man crazy. Look at it. Meanwhile, Alan is racing through the corridors, and there's hella guards. So he's like, I need a distraction, and starts freeing the prisoners on the ship to cause chaos. They're getting washed though, and it makes sense. They had to be captured in the first place to even be in here. They can't fight back. But then Alan goes to this one room, gets in there and says, brother, there is a battle outside. Do you wish to test thy valor on this glorious day? Who dares to disturb my slumber? It's Battle Beast. How did they catch him? Brother, this isn't some throwaway villain. It is not sweet in regards to him. It is not a game. I'm saying, like, this is top 5 characters in the universe. Knowing that makes that one scene in season 1 makes so much more sense. Omni-Man didn't help Mark in season 1 because he couldn't. Battle Beast is so strong that he is actively looking for someone capable of sending his soul to Valhalla. I assume he let himself get caught for one simple reason.
Yes,
he saw this as a Viltrumite ship and said, your finest cell, please.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought.
Battle and Viltrumites. And Alan is under the terrifying presence perk. Tells him, hey, there's 3 Viltrumites on this ship. One is my friend. The other 2, they're yours. Free game. Battle Beast nods his head and says, these terms please me, Mike Wazowski. Where are they? So they fly into battle and the guards are getting cooked out there. So is Omni-Man. That brother is running out of time. Alan and Battle Beast are going body for body out there. But eventually, Battle Beast is getting irritated, says, these aren't Viltrumites. You will pay in blood. Alan is like, damn, yeah, this guy is crazy. But he does find Omni-Man and the Viltrumites. Turns out they're in the room right below us.
Battle
Beast charges the Viltrumites and is making hits. Brother, he's ready. Alan, weave.
Damn.
Alan is getting beat up bad, and I'm just watching this on the couch, hand on the remote, ready to skip because I know he's faking. Stop it.
We all knew he was
He's
faking.
taking the beating to provoke Omni-Man to save him, and it works. And oh my heavens, 2 Viltrumites fighting. Gaze upon the choreography. Alan tags in for the final blow. Psych, it's not over. The guards start rushing in. I don't know why. They can't handle anybody in this room. Either way, the spot is getting too hot. So Alan bursts a hole in the ship into the cold abyss of space. Battle Beast is so hungry for that W that he is holding on to that man like every moment in his life has led to this one. The other Viltrumite is on Alan, but Omni-Man gets him in the hold, and Alan starts getting revenge for that one jumping just.
Fight back, nigga.
But Alan grabs his leg, throws him. It's all on this moment. He goes for the long punch and misses. The fight is over, and Alan finally convinces Omni-Man to join the Viltrumite hater coalition. Then he says we should get out of here before more Viltrumites show up. But this is when Omni-Man drops the bomb. Why there's only 2 Viltrumites on this ship, why only 3 showed up to the Thraxan planet, and why none of them are on Earth, despite Mark clearly not being interested, is because there's only 50 Viltrumites left. Less than that. In space. In the galaxy. Everywhere. The world conquerors that everybody is so worried about are well on their way to being extinct. How, you say? Season 4, you'll find out. Now, that doesn't mean that they aren't a threat. What's left of them are some really heavy hitters. I mean, like, bro, their leader is nothing to play around with. That man is an absolute monster. When he is around, everybody's life is at risk. But that's where the episode ends. But where's Battle Beast, you say? Wherever the vacuum of space takes him, bro. I don't know. Like, comment, all that. I'm out.
Hell yeah.
Today we're going to be wrapping up that Invincible season. I've got the final 2 episodes, 7 and 8. I know I didn't cover 5 and 6.
No, bastard.
But there is no but. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I guess not. Whatever. You know, I like 5 and 6. I like Powerplex.
So Angstrom is back, and I'm not a fan of this news. I hate Angstrom so much. His walk, his talk, his mannerisms. I can't even like the stuff that I hate about him because it is still more of him. I am not interested. I am not entertained. I want none of it. The last time Angstrom Levy was on the show, bro was liquid. Mark violated that man, but apparently he survived by getting these doctors to rebuild his body. You have to be turned into atoms, or you are free to be revived whenever. So now Angstrom is perfectly fine and has an army of evil Mark variants. We got Omniarch, the one that got clapped by a yo-yo. Oh, I murdered my father.
In the comics.
We got Viltrumite Mark, Prison Mark, Sinister Mark, Flaxen Mark, Shiesty Mark, Redneck Mark, and my favorite, my twin, my guy, my brother, my slime, my slap, Mohawk Mark. Give him time to grow it out, bro. Just wait. And this episode is getting us right into it. Mark and Eve are chilling. You know, Mark is like, Eve, I have to tell you how much my life sucks again. Oh, my brother, my mother. Oh, Cecil. I know we could be going out to a movie or dinner, but my life, Eve. My life. But my oh my, thank the stars. Angstrom at this moment sends all the marks to this universe. It's just like the book. They all fly to various corners of the earth with one of Angstrom's iBots for each of them. Angstrom is hosting the biggest livestream event the multiverse has ever seen. I would even keep you as a slave in my empire. Yes, that line is in the book. No deviation.
Yeah,
we see Sinister Mark going against Best Tiger, who's like Batman mixed with Daredevil, but he's not actually blind, he just wants to challenge. Then they showed the Wolfman. I was really hoping his story wouldn't get cut out, but it did. I'm mad about it, but I understand.
Like, why?
Paperwork, rights, contracts, the destroyers of creativity and the like. Then we see Rex and Ray being too happy.
It's the real reason why fucking Spawn is not in the fucking show. Oh, I'm so pissed that it wasn't Spawn fighting the Invincible variant. Like, you know, it'd be amazing to just hear Keith David go, groovy. I know that's Ash, but shut up.
So you know Rex is getting cooked. I thought he would live. I was a fool. We are allowed nothing. They see signs of trouble too, so Rex says he'll check it out while Ray continues to move into her new apartment. She quit being a superhero because, as it turns out, getting beat up for a living is not a chill way to live. And one day she realized, oh wait, I don't have to do this. So Mark flies to a prison that's being destroyed by the Mohawk Mark variant, and it is not long before they make contact. Hey, we're supposed to split up. You're ruining it. You're ruining the plan. Oh, wait. You're the me from this world. My fault, my bad.
My fault, my bad.
I'll never tell, that's my secret. Bro tries to swing at Mark. Shouldn't have done that. They burst through buildings for a while, and Mark hits Mark with the lower ab punch. I have never seen anybody get hit in that area. Ever. Then he uppercuts Mark. Bro is making direct eye contact with God, then drags him back down to earth. Bro is making direct eye contact with the devil. They start going at it in midair, and then Mark is tackled back to the ground. They are locked in. Mark tries to talk again. Why are you here? Clearly they have no heart for Gab. Then the evil Mark starts choking the hell out of our Mark, and does this count? Yeah, throw it on there, who cares? So Mark is like, damn, my model is clearly experiencing a defection of sorts, and hits the Vegemite factory reset. Mark thinks it's chill now, but no, there's another hero team there, and they know about the Marks swarming the globe, and they think he's one of them. Mark tries to tell them, hey, I'm one of the good guys.
I'm one of the good guys.
Stop. They start giving him a crazy beatdown. I am seeing more coordination from this team in one scene than I've seen from 3 seasons of the Guardians. If this episode revealed anything, bro, it is that Cecil is garbage at making superhero teams. There are so many heroes putting up a good fight against the Marks. Why aren't they on the team? Powerplex is watching this like, hell yeah. My wife and baby were worth all of this. Today, I don't regret a damn thing. He wants to join the fight, but Mohawk Mark wakes up and Powerplex has a whole system re-encryption. So he starts blasting off and gets hit, but you know how that story ends. Then we see Mark's friends and family watching the other Marks rip and tear through the planet. You know Oliver is ready to get out there. Debbie grabs him like, boy, you are not ready. There are consequences to being a guy. But eventually she lets him go, telling him to find Mark and stay with him and do not return to the house because he might get followed. Back at the prison, Mark and the others manage to knock out the other Mark. Eve arrives there, so they take off and leave the others to transport the evil Mark. But he wakes up, and at this point, everybody is in full defense mode. It done got so bad that Britt got added to the show.
I know, Britt.
It done got so bad.
It's like, goddamn.
Oliver downloaded the Human Compassion expansion pack. Look at him go, happy to help. However, he does see Mark flying above, but it's not our Mark. Eve and Mark find another Mark thrashing a group of heroes, and Mark has learned his lesson from last time. Spring Cat Mark is ready to end the cricket, but Oliver recovers and smacks Bro in the spine. But that didn't do anything but give that brother a much-needed morning stretch. He gets blasted and jumped by some other heroes though, giving Oliver a good chance at picking this Mark up. Now, theoretically, these Marks should be strong as hell, but majority of them haven't spent their entire lives getting the hell beaten out of them, so they might not be as strong as our Mark. Mark and Eve are demolishing Redneck Mark in his terrible drip. I mean, they got him on all fours. Omni Mark had to come down and ask him if he needs help. Mark tells Eve to dip, but Eve says never. Now I'm thinking, oh, she's about to pop off. Remember, this is Big Adam Eve.
Yeah.
Brother, what the hell was that? The Pythagorean theorem?
With Fiverr, you can hire top-rated freelance experts in a variety of AI services.
Yo.
Alternatively,
This guy
God have
is
mercy on our souls. We are so cooked.
funny.
Mark has to save her and use Omni Mark's cape against him. Now Mark is getting stomped out and Eve has to save him using the unmatched power of the rectangle. Is it the animation budget? Damn, they're selling Eve right now, bro. I know she got more than this. Mark tells her again to go, but he can't even finish because they come right back, and Mark has to block and keep them down until one slips through, and Eve starts spamming that square again, and she gets her legs snapped and thrown so hard to the damn ground. Omnimark pops down on her and says, I always hated you and your random geometry factoids. He goes to stomp her, but Mark charges down other Mark with his rage. Then he picks her up, and I'm like, bro, throw her to the other end of the planet or something. Don't just sit there. They are right there. They're like, what are you gonna do now without your weak romance plotline that's outshined by another that didn't even exist in the comics? But Cecil spawns in some reanimin to handle them while the medical team extracts Eve. While Eve is getting the evac, we see the Guardians getting destroyed. They are getting torn up by an Invincible that is nothing but jubilant to beat the hell out of them. He's getting sad because they are dying so fast. Kate is done. Samson is done. Shapesmith is done. Immoral and Darkwing 2 are all that's left, and Mark is recreating season 1 with them. This cannot be. I'm not saying they can win, but they can put up a better fight than this. It ends with Darkwing trapping himself in the Shadowverse with the variant. In one fell swoop, Darkwing 2 has become a more useful hero than everybody on this team, and it makes my head hurt. This has to be the worst hero team I have ever seen.
To be fair, it's always been that Batman always has to end up saving the day, and DC has Superman. It's ridiculous that one time Batman is the one that killed Darkseid. Yeah, he killed himself to do it, but my God, man, we have Clark and Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman actually could put up a good fight against Darkseid.
They struggle to win the simplest fights. They recruit damn near anybody. All you have to do to get on the team is show up. The worst thing to happen to them by far is when the strongest members of the group said this team is trash and dipped. Now here they are getting saved by a former villain. Ain't that crazy? Get me out of here. Let me see a team that I can stand behind. Let me see something that I can believe in. They got Robot. This Mark has been tearing through Teen Team. Robot in a more literal sense because he's looking for Robot's old body, but he finds Rex's clone's body and is confused. In the meantime, Robot sees Bulletproof on the ceiling like Batman, tells him to get Monster Girl and get out of here. Even in the face of death, he's glazing it. Bulletproof does not care and tackles Mark. Bro is getting thrown around though. I don't know why he was so thirsty for battle. Rex wakes up wounded, and I am at the edge of my seat at this point, praying for another deviation from the comics. Please, I say, don't do it. Robot tells him that we gotta get out of here. But Rex jumps in to fight Mark while the others leave. And when they leave, Rex starts spamming random items, eventually blowing up the floor in a valiant effort. But he does nothing because he is fighting. Rex gets snatched up and uses his skeleton to nuke the both of them to high heaven. I can't even soak up this sadness, this despair, because they play Billie Eilish for the background music. It's so out of nowhere that I'm like, is that Billie Eilish? So now we gotta talk about Mark annoying the hell out of me. I understand that Mark has had a rough time as a hero and it's all getting to his head, but that's not really a good excuse for him now, for a lot of reasons. Basically, Mark is with Eve as she's in a coma in the hospital. Cecil comes down and says, Mark, we're getting worked out there. You're our strongest hero. Could you please get out there? But Mark says, no, I want to stay here with Eve. And this just doesn't make sense to me. Rather, Oliver and Debbie are still out there. Mark doesn't know where they are or if they're safe at all. They could be getting killed as we speak, and Mark wouldn't even know. And my deal with this is, if one of them or both of them die, because that's totally possible, look at the threat, Mark will blame himself for it, and everybody watching the show will be annoyed by it, because he could have stopped it really easily. There is nothing stopping Mark from going out to help right now. It's not like with Omni-Man or the Thraxan Battle or Battle Beast. It used to be that Mark was completely powerless to stop most threats, and he has spent a long time being upset about that and thinking about all the people that died because of something related to him or because he wasn't strong enough to help. Now, he can go toe-to-toe with the most elite Viltrumites, and he doesn't want to help his family or friends because he's having a bad time right now. And I understand that he has had a terrible go of it as a superhero. But when you put this plotline in the middle of the biggest threat that has ever happened in the series, I'm not liking it, bro. I'm not liking it. There is a major chance that nobody survives this, but we're supposed to support Mark because he's worried about Eve. Eve is fine. She has a broken leg and a headache.
That's it.
Cecil got his skin melted off.
All right, I'll
Rex
give you
lost
that.
a chunk of his brain and a hand. He is okay.
I'll give you that.
Well, he was. Ray gets smushed in a lizard man's body. We all thought she was dead, but then they revealed that she was okay. Eve has the most tame injury we have ever seen in here. In fact, in the next episode, she gets up like light work, no reaction, and goes to fight Conquest and puts up a good fight. What is he worried about? I don't know, bro. It's crazy to see Oliver, the person who doesn't even understand the concept of empathy or compassion, risking his life in a heartbeat, no question. And then you have Mark, who's been wishing to help people and stop all the death that surrounds him. He has the greatest chance to do that one thing that's been haunting him, and he doesn't take that. But the part that really upsets me the most is this right here. Cecil comes back later and tells Mark, "We found Angstrom Levy. We can beam you to him right now." And Mark does not hesitate to get out there. "Brother, what do you mean?" And Mark is like, "You will never hurt me or my family again." Am I crazy? Have I gone mad? Have I finally lost it? There were 20 evil versions of you scouring the planet for you and your family for 3 days. Yes, this whole attack lasted 3 days, and you were nowhere to be found. That was way worse than this. And Rex is dead. You see what I'm saying, right? I hope that I simply missed the scene where Mark gets up and goes back out there and defeats a bunch of evil Invincibles. That's what happened, right? I'm just a goofball. Mark spawns in and tackles Angstrom on sight, but Angstrom has mastered the ways of the iBot and uses them to send Mark flying to the ground. As he comes down, he tells Mark about the doctors that he had on standby. And when you really think about it, Angstrom is crazy dumb to be trying to fight Mark. I mean, his character as a whole is very brain dead.
Yeah, seriously.
The guy hates Invincible, but instead of going universe by universe and wiping out every evil version of Invincible, he's choosing to torment the one good one. The only thing he can really do to Mark is send him to different dimensions. And he can't even do that because Mark is adapting to his constant spamming. But now Angstrom has these infinite robots to push him in, but that's not working either. Angstrom makes a portal behind Mark and Mark charges forward. As he does that, Angstrom summons more of the robots. I mean, he goes absolute goblin mode. I can't even narrate properly, bro. Like, I had to run these episodes back many times. He is slapping those things down. He's understanding now. He's starting to believe. Mark quickly grabs Angstrom by his neck. Add her up. Then he says, "Is this what you wanted? All this destruction just to get me, you animal." Mark is ready to end Angstrom, but then Oliver comes up and says, "Yeah, Mark, do it. Please hurry before the plot kicks in and he becomes a problem later." But it's too late. He gets away. Where is Angstrom now? Just doing stuff, goofing around.
A lot. Without an arm.
Stand ready for my arrival.
Worm.
You were given orders.
You were given time.
You were given more leeway than most. Yet this planet is unprepared, out of order, unready. Anissa would say I'm not liking it, but me, ooh, I'm loving it. Then Mark drops the best line of the season thus far. He steps forward and says, "My worm was ready long before you arrived."
Woo! Conquest. Oh, such a great fight. Amazing. Oh my god.
Conquest starts yapping about doing this for the love of the game and not the Empire. I get it. I want to show some appreciation for this season being an absolute banger.
Yes.
I am so happy about how it turned out because I was getting worried. Every episode was a hit. There was no break. The writing was on point. The only thing that's really holding the show up now is the animation. And the animation really isn't that bad. It's simply that I've never watched an animated show where I've noticed so many times that the animators weren't given enough time. I know they want to do the yearly release thing, and that's fine, but can the animators just get a few more months to work, to polish it out, to remove those
Get money.
Because look, I'd be locked in. I'd be locked into the show, right? And then you see the doctors like this. Why is he not moving, bro? That takes me right out of it. Now, I am not saying do a 4-month break. Do not do that ever again. If they need 4 more months to work, then drop the whole season when that 4 months is done. Because it is crazy that it seems like they were only allowed to get wacky in the last 2 episodes.
Yeah. Honestly, there's no reason as to why this show could be like. Why can't you pay these people more? I don't understand. You're all about money. Why can't you pay these people more? Because you don't want to. Because you're freaking what's his name, Bezos, and you're cheap. That's all it is. And I bet you're not going to do that now, especially with the damn tariffs. So,
This is Conquest. one of Viltrum's top guys, the closer. He has a 100% win rate. He is absolutely guaranteed to get the job done. And that's really all you gotta know. It is time to collect. After Conquest's long speech, Mark says, womp womp, don't care.
Hey. Okay.
Conquest is not impressed, says I need more, and Mark is happy to oblige. He tackles that man through several buildings. I'm sorry, the animation is so fire, bro. I have been waiting for this. Look at it. Conquest has to dig Mark out of the rubble. Mark breaks out and sends him flying back, and then he says that was just a warm-up. Now he's knocking Conquest around back and forth. They're in the sky, in the air. Mark grabs him, knees his chest, and they go further and further. Mark throws Conquest and dives back down to the surface. Has a full 5-course meal, leaves no tip, then spins back to the sky to launch Conquest into space. And after all of that, what may be Mark's most vicious combo to date, a busted lip and a nosebleed. Conquest isn't phased at all. Bro is up there blowing bubbles and formatting them into a heart. So Conquest tackles Mark back to Earth, and the whole time they're falling, they're taking jabs at each other. Mark gets another knee in to escape and stands or flies tall, asking Conquest, are you sure this is gonna go your way? Back at home, Oliver is watching the TV and says, oh my Jeezy Weezy.
Jeezy Weezy!
Me, and goes to help Mark, but Debbie says, wait. She tells him to help Mark and to stay out of the way. So he flies away. And Paul, oh Debbie, they've been through this before. Don't worry. Brother, it looks like hell outside. Mark is laying there, barely holding it together. And you might be wondering, where is Conquest?
Well...
I'm joining the Viltrumites, bro. I give up. Then making a smooth transition to Oliver like I'm supposed to clap my hands. Oh, the cavalry is here. Go get Omni-Man. Go get Alan. Go tell Cecil what's happening here today. They always say, Mark, you're tweaking. Mark, you're a danger. Mark, you're a threat. Where is everybody now? Conquest, you'd better back down, said Cecil from his panic room on Mars. Mark is getting flung around at such speeds that Oliver can't even keep up.
All right.
And we just see Conquest blitzing to Mark's location, and in response, stop! Conquest breaks and looks at Mark with utter disgust. Mark then says, wait, it doesn't have to be this way. But Conquest isn't hearing nary a notion nor tale of that bidding, and simply picks Mark up and slams him to the ground. I fully agree. Bro was given orders. Bro was given time. Bro was given more leeway than most and still chose the top of the ladder, the long way down, the depths of the unknown to him. Conquest says he is having too much fun to stop now. We saved the budget for this. It's time to put on a show.
And his name is John
So Oliver goes in for his next banger. Have no fear, Kid Omni-Man is... Conquest has him now. But Mark swoops in with the save. He tells Oliver to get out of here. You are a cricket, bro. You're not built for it. But Oliver is gonna look Mark dead in his dented face and say, we can take him. I know it.
But what is he doing?
I don't know. I really don't know.
So Mark pushes Oliver away as Conquest snatches him up, and Conquest tries giving Mark a lecture on his Viltrumite heart. Mark cannot hear a damn thing. Mark stops him with a quick headbutt and starts wailing on Conquest's face over and over and over until he runs out of gas, and Conquest gets right back up. We then see Cecil stressing at the Pentagon, telling Sinclair, where are the Invincible Reanimen? We need them now. They snatched up the bodies of the perished Invincible variants. Yes, they are weaker Invincibles that couldn't make the cut, but let me show you our highly cherished box of options.
Yeah.
Sinclair is working on it, but he says, bro, I just got the body. Mark's skin is made of vibranium. We're not getting through there anytime soon. And now Cecil is having a little bit of a conniption. So Eve's parents, let's just get that. Let's just take that and put it in the trash. Eve wakes up to see Mark getting absolutely obliterated on national television, same as usual. But she gets really mad, flies up in the air, changes her fit, and she's like, where's Cecil? And this doctor right here that is not animated at all, just standing there like a goofy goober is like, Eve, you can't even walk yet, as she is flying. He says this as she is flying. So Mark is getting dragged, he's not even fighting back anymore. So much so that Conquest is like, damn, they sent me here for this. Then Oliver shows up again, and Mark tells him again to dip. Oliver again says, no, he's old, we can do it. Then Mark turns to Conquest and says, stay away from him, he's just a boy. And Conquest is tired of the 2-on-1 with no coordination, so he smacks Mark out of the way, and does the same to Oliver.
Damn. Oh my god.
I'm saying he hit Oliver so hard his teeth fell out. Then he grabs Oliver and starts slowly stretching him. Mark sees this and gains the motivation to blitz Conquest again. But Conquest hits the brakes and retaliates. While they're distracted, Oliver gets picked up by Cecil, and Cecil gets the call that Eve is up and she wants to speak with him right now. Eve wants Cecil to talk to her. Cecil is like, no, don't do that. You're going to die. But she's like, no, Cecil, I love him so much and love conquers all. So Cecil takes another look at the box of options.
Better scramble like an egg before you get folded.
He's like, okay, whatever, we're dead anyway. Mark is looking like, ain't no way Eve is here right now. That's very bad. So he quickly goes for Conquest, telling her to leave, but Conquest swipes Mark's leg, and that man crumbles to the ground in pain, leaving Eve to put on her Iron Man suit and lock in for the finale.
Fuck you,
this
that's
is the Eve
Voltron
we've been waiting to see. Conquest goes for her, but Eve slows him down by messing with the density in the air. Where was this last episode? She continues by making a mallet with spikes. I don't understand what the spikes are for because she hits him with a flat end. Hell, she does it twice. She brings the mallet down again, but this time Conquest catches it and destroys it. Eve is already at half of her battery, so she goes back to making rectangles, and Conquest breaks through all of them, but Eve starts working smarter and uses the broken slabs to form a sphere over his head. I'm thinking, okay, she's gonna change the air in the ball to be non-existent, and then he runs out and he drowns. No, she sends more objects to hit him. Now she's spamming objects, and it looks really cool. This would be a great string of combos if Conquest was taking damage. He is not. Then she does something that confuses me further. At one point, she changes the air around Conquest into water. Eve, twin, gang. Drown him. Turn the air in his lungs into water. Turn the air that he breathes in into water. That way the air gets in there and he starts choking and coughing. But no, the 50th spear will do it. It does not. He grabs Eve, destroys all of her armor, and I turn away from the scream as I know what comes next. Conquest, he punches her in the face so hard, she turns into Two-Face. It's not even a joke, that's verbatim what happened. Then he takes his hand and throws it right through her chest. Now Mark has to sit there as she passes on. Oh, Eve, who am I gonna trauma dump to on the rooftop at the end of every episode? Please. The situation is so bad that he starts screaming for Cecil to help him. Cecil, he says. Cecil. And Conquest is in the back, aura farming. And Mark looks completely insane by this point, while Conquest is thanking him for this blessed opportunity. He doesn't know what Mark did to get the rag and the others so upset, but hey, it has been a very productive day. Mark then does his "you don't live to see tomorrow" speech. Now I could do a dramatic reading, but we are at 20-something pages, bro. Let me wrap it up. The two charge at each other with such rage, such power, such force that they both lose an arm. They don't really care though. Conquest tries to aura farm this moment a little bit, but Mark is locked in. So Conquest holds him down and still tries to talk mid-battle, but doesn't seem to understand that Mark has gone mad. Mark thinks Goku's so reliable and fights Conquest. Now they're in the air, finally slamming into each other until Mark gets Conquest on the ground, just
boink, boink,
but out of the corner of his eye, Mark sees what seems to be Adam Eve self-reviving. So Conquest takes this opportunity to do this Bane level combo. He gets Mark down and says, "I'm so lonely. All the other Viltrumites are afraid of me. Thrag won't let me see his barber," but he starts explaining how none of the Viltrumites really talk to him anymore. They actively avoid him and only interact with him when a planet needs conquering, and he is so alone, so bored, that the only thing he has left is the thrill of battle. But the thing is, Conquest knows why the Viltrumites avoid him. He knows that in order to change his perception, maybe we chill on the conquering, maybe take a more diplomatic role in the Empire. Not that they talk much, they just be murdering and slaughtering people like, But surely it doesn't have to be all violence and conquering and evil. But he's like, no, I like causing pain more than I hate being alone. And that is a damn shame. He could have changed. So Conquest starts choking out Mark, going for the execution. But Eve, he is still alive. Bro looks like raw steak, but alive. Mark isn't gonna let this good tragedy go to waste. He starts furiously beating the hell out of Conquest. But Conquest catches his arm and breaks it. So what does Mark have left to do? He uses his head, his noggin, and goes for the crazy straight 1000 headbutt combo until Conquest is nothing but a puddle.
Fantastic.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Mark wakes up a few days later. Eve woke up before him. She's fine. She also explains her overdrive power thing. Eve is broken. She's Alien X. Debbie comes in later and tells Mark that she's sorry for his father and him getting powers. But come on. How could you have known that you married an agent of the largest planet-conquering species in the galaxy? That has never happened to anybody before.
Yeah,
then Cecil comes in and Mark says, let me see Conquest. So they go see the body. It's there. Burn it. Mark says, we're gonna come right back to this. First, Rex gets this abnormal funeral where a robot gives a speech where he changes his name to Rex. Okay, listen.
Yeah.
Rex is gonna have an amazing arc in season 5, maybe season 4. Don't mind him until then. Like, he just be doing stuff.
Yeah.
His whole thing has been set up. It's gonna be a wacky ride. Just wait. Then Eve gets up there and she gives a speech that made me laugh so hard. She's talking about Rex and says at one point that he was her first everything, good and bad. And I'm just sitting there like, damn, nothing Mark is doing is coming in first? Always second? No way you beat Conquest and still come in second. That cannot be the reality. We are joining Viltrum.
Really
The
say
writers then
that.
dump on
You
Black
saying
Samson
some
by cutting
shit.
away during his speech.
I know.
He is a full-on background character at this point, and they want you to know it. Dark Blood is coming back. This was not in the comics, so I have no clue what this is about, but I'm very excited. Cecil has kept Conquest alive. This might actually be
The dumbest shit.
moment in the entire series.
Yes.
Saying when he wakes up,
Yes.
we're gonna get answers, Donald. We're gonna get answers. When I read this part in the book,
Yeah.
I closed the book and I threw it. It makes no sense to have Conquest alive. None. Did Cecil put one of those high-pitched sound things in his ear?
Nope.
No. Did he cut off Conquest's arms and legs? No. Oh, Donald, we have these 400 tons of metal. This will keep him down.
No. Right.
The part that really got me was when Donald says, Cecil, are you sure about this? What do you mean, are you sure about
you
this?
sure?
Why is there any doubt in anybody's mind about this? Everybody in here should be 100% certain that that man cannot break out of here, because if he does, he's going to run to Thrag and tell him, yeah, come to Earth right now, I can't do it. We need the full might of Viltrum. And that is exactly what happens. I don't even consider that a spoiler.
Yeah,
because
no, you
what is
can't.
the only possible thing that can happen in this situation? I hope that they change something in the show, because Cecil looks stupid as hell right now. The season ends with Oliver waking up and Mark goes to visit him. And my question is, how did Mark get the suit through his cast? It had to be Eve, right? Because there's no way you're taking off the cast so you can have a swag off with Oliver. But Oliver is like, yes, Mark, I am ready to get out there. I am Kid Omni-Man and I am reporting for duty. And mind you, Oliver can remember every single moment of his life, and it seems like none of the Conquest stuff affected him at all. Oliver might be the most superhero in the show right now. The way he is ready to just go is foolish, but he's got the spirit. Mark is on the complete opposite side. Says Oliver, I am done playing games. If anyone messes with my family, they're getting cocked. So Mark is gonna be a villain now. I have not prepared an outro, so I don't know. Play the next video teaser thingy. Yeah, we'll end with that.
I gotta watch that too. I'm gonna watch that shit too. Yeah. Hell yeah, I'm gonna watch that for the channel. I love The Wolf Among Us. Oh man. Gotta watch it. Yeah, I'm definitely watching that for the channel. I gotta. It's some good stuff. I missed most of the Walking Dead. I already watched the Walking Dead stuff. I'll admit it. And I have no intention of doing the other ones because, my God, only season 1 is good. Oh, I never played season 4. As far as I can tell, though, it's the only one that's actually good, though. I mean, season 2 is just so bad. Ugh. I mean, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right, but still. Well. Yeah. I really hope they do season 4 really well, and I hope that they come back with that. But they're probably going to take a while to come out and, you know, bring the episodes out. Unfortunately, especially because of the current economy right now, it's probably not going to be feasible for them to do it. Who knows? Yeah, y'all know what happened, so. Not much else to discuss. I love all of his stuff, though. He's so funny, right? Let me know if you guys want me to do more of his videos. So, please, smash that like button if you want to see more sexy and nerdy content, and subscribe if you think I deserve it. And remember, sign up for my Patreon for all my latest reactions to all my latest videos. And I'll see you on the next episode.